and let's see what we got here. Look at there, everybody. There's Jus Majusiak. He's like a crowd favorite.
Yeah, yeah.
You are.
Yeah. That's only because I get everybody into movies for under 12.
Okay, explain that.
I'm short. Look at me. I'm small. I still look like I'm under 12.
Under 12. All right. So today we got an interesting one. We're going to talk about a few things here. I think it's important. What do you think?
I agree.
Our onboarding and investigative process. All right. We did one of these before on the type of cases we do, and how do you find us? How to onboard with us. We talked about that. We can get into how to start, get into the contract, get into some payment options. We're going to talk about the actual investigative process where we list assumptions, and then we're going to test those assumptions with tools, open source tools, digital surveillance, regular surveillance, and interviews. And then we're going to talk about how we list the facts. We're going to talk about things we do not do. Right? You know about those, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Let's get into it a little bit. So how to start with us. So I've had people come to me, they've known me for 6 or 7 years. They're like, oh, I didn't know you had a investigative firm. How?
Yeah, I don't understand how it's all over.
Do I publish it on social media, Jus?
Everywhere.
It's everywhere. And I tell people, my wife says when we go out, I'm like I'm running for mayor.
Yeah, yeah.
I go out.
You are, because we've been out a few times, and
I talk to everybody. I know a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of the face of the company. And we go, and that's just what I do. I got to sell it, right? We got to make a living.
Absolutely.
And I got employees to employ, kids to feed, all those things. So how do you start with us? You can call us. You can message us on our website. You can hit us up on social media. You can come to our office, and we'll talk to you. I'm not going to turn anybody away. And that's how you start with us. And it starts with me asking a bunch of questions. We're going to schedule a consultation, at least an hour, where you tell me your story. And we're going to go through and let you tell me what's going on. A lot of people don't know what they want. You ever seen that before?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You remember the one we just got where the lady, her brother, she thinks he committed suicide?
He committed suicide. She thinks he was murdered. Yes.
Yeah, we're investigating that, right?
Yes, yes.
The police called it suicide. We're just checking into it to see what's going down.
Right.
She had no idea what she wanted. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. She's totally confused.
Now, we listened to her, and then we'd interject with some questions. Hey, what about this? Hey, what about that? And get her back on point. I get it, man. These things that people come to us are stressful. You may have a loved one died. Your husband may be cheating on you, your wife. You may have kids that are in danger when they're away from you. And I get it. We want you to tell your story. We want to be invested in the case. And now we're going to steer you into some information that's critical that we need to know, like who are we investigating? What are we investigating? Those kind of things. And we're going to do that consultation for about an hour. And at the end, it's going to come down to decision time. Are you willing to sign a contract and pay us? We take all the payment up front. All right. It's for a larger case. It's $200 an hour with a minimum of 25 hours. Those hours are used at tactical times throughout the case when we're most likely to gather evidence. And you got to pay us up front, and we work against that. Now, that is non-refundable after 24 hours. What do you think of that?
Smart.
We're not lawyers. There's no, okay, I'm tired of you. Pay me back half my fee. We don't get that. We don't do that here.
That's not happening.
Because we deploy resources, all right? We're not sitting in an office. We deploy people going out, doing surveillance, asking questions. We have, how many investigators we have total? 6 or 7? I don't know.
6?
6 now?
6 right now?
It's a moving target. It changes.
Yeah, 6.
But we deploy resources, and it's just, we want you to be in, if we're going to investigate, we're going to investigate. We don't like getting started and stopping and just waste our time and your time as well.
Yeah. Our ball starts rolling for you as soon as we're done at that point.
Right. It does. As soon as we walk away from that meeting and everything starts. Okay. Let's get into the contract a little bit. You're going to get a contract. We don't do anything under the table, Jus.
Nope.
We don't.
We're above board on that.
It starts out with just your basic who you are, the date, and it gets into the scope of work, which is that's paragraph 1, the most important part of the whole thing. Scope of work, tasks the agency will perform on behalf of the client. Okay, this is what we're going to do, and it also tells you what we're not going to do. If it's not in there, we're not going to do it.
Correct.
Okay, some tasks that we perform include fixed surveillance, mobile surveillance. Fixed, this means we're sitting in one spot forever. Mobile means we can drive around and do it, or walk around and do the surveillance. We do digital forensics, which is a whole nother topic. We include travel time. I've had clients get wrapped around the axle because to get to where we were doing surveillance was 2 hours away, and they didn't want to pay us to drive there. Is that a problem?
For them.
We don't drive around just for strangers because we like you.
Yeah, I don't like doing 5 hours drive time just, because I have nothing better to do.
You do have to pay for that windshield time. It comes off your retainer. We do document analysis. So when somebody hands us a case that went all the way to the Supreme Court at one time, how many documents do you think is in there?
Oh, there's numerous.
Thousands and thousands.
At least, yeah.
And we've got to read them, every single one, to get the information we're looking for. Or one of my assistants will read it and they give me the important information. Okay? I got to pay people to read these documents. If I'm doing it, you're definitely paying me. Social media forensics. That's where we're digging through social media.
Yep.
Witness interviews. Yep, we go find them. A lot of people don't like the part where you have to find the witnesses. They like the interview part, but they said, man, it took you a while to find them. And I said, yeah.
Yeah, because they didn't want to be found.
And they get mad when they see it comes off their retainer. Yes. Document retrieval. We have to go into Alicourt or the physical courthouse and get documents. You got to pay for that. Dating site analysis. That's where we go into dating sites. I'm a little Asian lady on there on Tinder.
You're cute, too.
And I'm looking for people cheating on their husbands and wives on dating sites. Trash collection, case analysis. That goes back to the document collection and all that, where we're analyzing these things to see if you do have a case. All right. And then meetings with attorneys. If we have to go meet with your attorney, you got to pay for it.
Yes.
Those are just some investigative activities that we may do for you that are included in what comes off your retainer. You see a problem with that, Juice? I
don't see a problem with it because it's in plain English. It's not like you threw a lot of Latin in there.
Yeah. It's in 3 pages.
Yeah.
And people read it. A lot of times people will sign this and don't read it until like week 3. And they're like, oh, I want my money back.
Okay. Well, you give them plenty of time to read that thing ahead.
I'm not forcing anybody to do it. I don't do hostile interrogations.
No.
All right. He goes on to say some legalese in there, and he gets down to paragraph 5. Okay. Fees paid by the client. This particular one here, the client agrees to pay the following fees for the services of the agency. $5,000 paid in advance to the activities in Section 1. This is a flat fee for 25 hours of investigative activities over a 30-day period. Okay. If additional overnight travel is required, fees will be billed outside this contract once agreed on by the client. Now, if we have extra fees where we got to go to Tullahoma, Tennessee and stay 3 days, you're going to pay us to stay in the hotel. It's going to be billed out. It's going to be added onto that $5,000.
Correct.
Okay. If we have to appear as a witness in court, this is a big one that I've had people not sign the contract because of this right here, this statement. It is agreed upon that in the event the agency is requested to appear as a witness in the court of law on the client's behalf, the client agrees to compensate the agency $200 per hour and 60 cents per mile. This is billed at a 4-hour minimum. This includes when they're told to stand by from either the client's attorney or the opposing attorney. All right. 4-hour minimum. So I may go there, walk in, testify in 13 minutes. I've done it before, and walk out. You're still paying me $800.
Well, there's also times you're going to go in there and sit, and they're going to say, come back tomorrow. We didn't get you to, today.
I've gone there and sat for 3.5 hours and then testified for 13 minutes. Sat out in the hallway, scrolled my phone, wasted time. All right. During COVID, it was real bad. They'd make you sit outside the courthouse, make you stand by. And that's kind of where this started.
Right.
And we got to get paid for our time, man. So court prep too, that, the 4 hours includes that. We do preparation. We get the notes out, read it, get ready so we don't look like idiots walking in there. Okay. All right. Communication between the agency and client. A lot of people don't like this part. We'll get into why. Okay. I'm going to read it. Communication between the agency and client. The agency will respond to questions and or requests for information within 24 hours of receipt of the questions and or requests for information sent by the client. I'm pretty good at responding to clients. I'll text them back, call them back, or whatever in the same day. But I can't do it instantly all the time.
Right.
A lot of clients need to realize that. I'm in other meetings. We have other clients.
There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes I like to sleep. Sometimes I like to do things with my daughter, and I don't respond immediately. And they get all bent out of shape when I don't respond to a text message immediately. I always thought it's funny when people, they send you an email or a text message and expect an immediate response. Both of those are so you can respond later.
Right.
But people forget about that. It says here, Phone calls, text messages, social media messages, video calls, emails, and in-person meetings regarding questions under request for information are all considered viable communication means. Responses by the agency will only occur between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Is that clear?
Absolutely.
The agency is not responsible for responding outside these business hours. If a client demands a response outside these business hours or on holidays or weekends, the agency will bill the client outside the contracted amount at $200 an hour. Messages and calls will be prorated at 15-minute intervals. So I get a lot that demand me to talk to them on Saturdays and Sundays or in the middle of the night, and I'll do it. Then I'll hit them with a big fat invoice, and they quit doing it. So,
right.
But sometimes there is emergencies. Very rare that I have to respond that quickly.
Well, I think people, for some reason, and I get it. It's their case. It's everything they're trying to do in their control.
Mm-hmm.
They think, oh, well, they don't care. They're not answering the phone. We do care.
Mm-hmm.
We legitimately care about your case. We're
Mm-hmm.
working it.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean we can get right back to you right away, because we have all these other cases that we care about the same way each individual cares about their own case.
Right.
So we're trying to work it, but we just can't text back in 3 seconds.
Right. Sometimes they'll ask a question I don't know the answer to right away, and I may be looking into it.
Right.
I don't want to respond with something stupid that gets me or the client in trouble.
Correct.
Work on Sundays and holidays. Juice asked me about this. He said, I was working yesterday. Yesterday was Sunday.
Yeah, I didn't know we don't work Sunday.
So if the client demands it. Now, if we plan it out in the beginning where we'll say, hey, we'll do this for you on Sunday, then it's one thing. But if it comes up throughout the case and you say it's Saturday night and you're like, hey, my husband's going to be with this woman tomorrow, I'm not going to activate an agent or a private investigator to go investigate unless you pay me double our normal hourly rate.
Right.
Okay. And we've worked on holidays before and they pay double the hourly rate.
Hourly rate?
Spit it out, Juice.
Hourly rate.
Hourly rate. Got to slow down a little bit, don't I?
Yes.
I've had a lot of caffeine. I'm drinking a Coca-Cola right now. I'm drinking Coca-Cola right now. But yeah, if we plan it out way in advance, then it's not a big deal. But if it's a last minute thing on a holiday or on a Sunday, we have families. We like to have.
Yeah, not everybody likes to be called to work on a holiday.
We like to have off gas time, right? Where we get to sit down and do our hobbies.
Yes.
Juice disposing of bodies is not a hobby.
No. I make my knives.
You make your knives.
Yeah.
You may play your motorcycle.
Yep.
Juice said he's married to his motorcycle.
I love my motorcycle.
Poor bike.
That's my wind therapy.
Poor motorcycle.
She loves me.
She don't talk back, does she?
No.
Well, they do a little bit. You got some good pipes on it?
But she talks sweet music into my ear instead of nagging.
Right. Okay. So here's a big one. Number 9. It is agreed that the agency has made no guarantee to the client as the results regarding the investigation activities in Section 1. We can't guarantee people's behavior.
No. We just report the facts. That's it.
We take assumptions, test them, and then report facts.
Correct.
Sometimes none of those assumptions are factual.
Correct.
And they get mad at me about it.
But we can't make things up. If they're not doing something, they're just not doing it.
We had a phone call with me and Juice in the car, and I took a phone call. And the woman was so mad that her husband was not cheating on her.
Yes. She was a little upset.
That he wasn't, he has to be and all this. Well, based off the information you've given me and the test we ran, he is not. So, let me see here. The amount paid in this contract is non-refundable after 24 hours. Okay, that's a big one. The contract should not be made void by any communication outside this contract. So if you email me and say I'm changing the contract, it does not void the contract. I've had that happen before. Right?
Correct.
We got to write another contract, right? And then we get a lot of people who don't want to sign the contract, Juice.
Okay, then they don't want to hire us.
Oh, they do. Let me see what it says here. By signing, the client and agency have agreed to enter this contract, or when Macky Outlaw Private Investigators receives funding from the client, it is considered that both parties have entered into this contract. Sometimes they'll pay us, but don't want to sign it. So that's my little catch-all right there. What do you think about the contract, Juice?
It's pretty plainly written. I mean, there's no Latin in there that you have to go get a translator for.
What about Greek?
No.
No Greek?
Didn't see any Greek in there.
No Hebrew?
No.
No.
I didn't see any Polish either.
No Polish for you?
No.
You understand Polish, Juice?
I used to. I don't hardly anymore.
Back when Mama was around and stuff.
Yeah.
And the last page gets in their certifications a little bit, and it also lists the investigative activities. So what you can expect. So I advise, I do this for clients where we actually go line by line of the contract before they sign it. Some of them ask me to, which is fine. I don't care to do it.
Yeah.
And some do not, and they just sign it arbitrarily. And then they get mad whenever, I don't come weed their garden for them.
Again, that's their fault. They should have read the contract.
Yeah, they should have.
There's nothing hidden in there. You're straight up about everything.
Mm-hmm. All right. So there's the contract. Now we're going to come back to the next part where we actually get into the work in the case. All right. And we're going to get into how you can pay me. I like getting paid. All right.
Get paid?
Let's take a break, Juice. Hey, everybody. Macky here. I just want to get into what we actually do here at Macky Outlaw Private Investigators. So we conduct domestic investigations, which include your adultery and custody cases. You may have a cheating spouse that you're wanting to find out, or you may have shared custody and you're wanting to find out what the other parents are doing, maybe prove that they're not good parents for a custody modification. Also, what we do is criminal defense investigations. That's where people get in trouble and they need help proving their innocence. It could be either pre-conviction or post-conviction. So if you know people in those situations, just give us a ring. Also, we work missing person cases. That's where we track down people that are missing. It can be children, teenagers, all the way to senior adults. So if you have a case like that, how we work those cases is we use surveillance. We locate and find witnesses and interview them. Also conduct digital forensics where we extract deleted data and locate those digital artifacts to help your case. If you need those types of investigations done, you can always click the link and contact us. You can call us directly at 866-910-7499. That's 866-910-7499. Or visit us on the web at MackyOutlaw.com. Thank y'all. All right, y'all. We are back. And the first part we talked about how to find us, the contract. And now we're getting into payments and the actual investigative process.
I did not know that we get paid for this.
You thought it was all free?
Well, I've been working for free.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's the money been going to?
I don't know, but I need to look into it.
Some rando person?
Do you know a private investigator I can hire?
Some random person? So yeah, after you sign the contract, there's a few ways you can pay us. So I typically, 99% of the time, I will email you a payment link. You can go on there. You can pay with your credit card, debit card. You can pay with a check where it drafts right out of your bank, just like you used your debit card. And you can also go in there and have the option to make payments. A lot of people don't know that. If you qualify.
Oh.
You got to qualify for the bank.
That's pretty good though.
Yeah, it's not bad. We also take cash money. If we're in person, you want to pay me cash, I'll take it.
Cash is king.
One thing I do not do. Guess, Juice.
Take a personal check?
Take a personal check. All right. If you write me a check, we're going to sit there together, shoulder to shoulder, and we're going to run that through. You're going to agree, and we're going to run that through like a bank draft. Okay? I have had so many checks bounce. I had one bounce last month.
Imagine that.
I've had one bounce last month, and person still hasn't made it right. But anyways, and so that's how we get paid. I do not get paid in Bitcoin. I've been asked that question before.
No.
All right. I know Bitcoin. I know how it works, but it's so volatile. One day it could be worth $5,000, and the next day it could be worth
real
$3,000.
Real money.
We're going to use the universally accepted exchange of the dollar. So.
Yes, the American dollar.
But a lot of people didn't know that you could click on that payment link I sent you, and you have the option to make payments. So that's an option for you if you want to do it.
And that's a good thing because a lot of people can't come up with money as quickly as others.
Yeah, they got the money coming in. It's just free cash sitting around, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, let's get into this investigative process a little bit. So you pay us, you sign the contract, then I'm going to hit you with a list of questions, whether it's in person or through email. And you're going to respond to those questions. We'd like to get those back as quickly as possible. Some people...
As completely as possible, too.
Yeah. They'll send us back, they'll answer, say it's a list of 10 questions. They'll send us back 2 and then just their personal thoughts.
Yeah.
It doesn't help very much.
No. It does not.
So I'll go back and forth with you till we get the right information. And then we put this into a system. We got cross tracks and we start assigning investigators.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A lot of it's done from the desk. We use IRB to go in and look up the subject we're investigating and get as much information to the investigators as we can. It's a good tool. And then let's say some assumptions that you hit us with in the beginning. Let's do just a straight up adultery. So you assume that your husband was having an affair, all right, and you assumed who the person was.
Why is it always got to be the husband?
I don't know. Everybody asks me if it's husband or wife more. It's 50-50, by the way.
Yeah.
It's half and half. Now it'll go in waves. We'll get all men one month and all women the next month. So, and we go out and we do surveillance for 12 hours on this person, on this husband. He's done nothing but go to work, took the kids to pickleball, you name it. And the woman that you assume that he's having an affair with has not been around him. So did that assumption turn into fact?
No.
Okay. All right. Now, maybe he's got a trip coming up where he's going to Myrtle Beach and you want us to follow him. We'll go test this. We're going to continue to test through surveillance, and maybe it will become fact there. But just because your assumptions are turned out not to be true does not mean that I'm going to give you your money back. What do you think?
I agree.
All right. I don't like it when that happens. I like for my clients to have a favorable outcome, but we get bashed online. I get bashed in person with people saying, hey, you guys didn't do a good job.
Yeah, and I don't understand how your spouse not cheating isn't favorable.
Right. That woman the other day, my shirt's all bound up here, Juice, because I'm
all those swoles.
Because I'm so huge.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
It's being swole.
I did do chest this morning.
I can tell.
Can you?
Yeah, we're all pumped.
Right. Anyway, old man pump. Yeah, the woman the other day, she was livid.
Oh, yeah, she was not happy that her husband's not cheating.
Not on porn sites.
Yeah.
Based off the information we had.
And we ran a lot of info on that.
Juice did that one personally. So.
Yes.
And I just don't get it. But now, as we go through the case, you can log into your own Crosstracks account and see evidence as it goes in. I will communicate with you regularly, especially if something major happens. We're going to say, hey, this is going on. And at the end, you will get a full report of what happened. And we can even meet in person. You talk about it. And if you want to keep going, we definitely will. We've had that happen, and you sign another retainer, and we continue on. But I just kind of wanted to go through the process. We are not lawyers either. Some people think we can file things for them. We can't file things.
I'm not giving you legal advice either.
I can give you an opinion, but it's worth about 10 cents.
Well, mine's less than that, but yeah.
Here's how I say it. I say, based off our experience, we've seen this happen, but you need to get a lawyer to tell you more about that.
Yep.
That's exactly how I say it. I'm not giving legal advice. I'm just giving you an opinion of what we've seen in the past. But what are your thoughts on this, Juice? We're getting close to the end.
Yeah, I'm good with it. It's not like we're cops getting a criminal, an attorney on the scene so he doesn't have to answer questions or anything. But
right.
I'll tell you, hey, you may want to contact an attorney.
Yeah. And attorneys, especially for high net worth divorces, custody, I would never walk into that by myself.
No. You're walking into the lion's den.
I'd borrow the money, whatever I had to do to go.
But we try and do as much as we can for the clients, that when they do hire that attorney and they do walk in there, that they're prepared with all our paperwork.
Yeah. That's all we got, Juice. We went over on the first part, so the second part is short. So we got work to do, Juice. Let's get after it.
We do.
All right. That's it for this episode. We'll see you soon.